What is going on, everybody? I wanted to jump on a quick live and talk about the devastating truth about what happens when you break your trust with your spouse and how you can start to regain it if it isn't too late, right? Now, I'm talking about this because this is one of the first phases, right? This is one of the first disruptions that happen in a relationship. And this is one of the things that could be a potential small buildup, but over time it's going to lead to disaster. Now, when I talk about distrust, I know that your brain may go to extreme things like lying or cheating. Yes, that's distrust as well. But I'm talking about the small things in your everyday life, right? Something as simple as saying you're going to go mow the lawn, but you never get around to it, right? Not keeping your word. That's one of the small buildups that automatically leads to distrust, right? So think of it like this. When when you're in a relationship, you have a trust bank, right? And the more and more times that somebody keeps breaking your trust, you keep adding it to this bank, right? And eventually, over time, it just builds up and it builds up, and we lose all trust with that person, and it's done. And regaining trust can be pretty hard to come back from. So, this message, why I'm talking about this, as a lot of you guys know, I am a life coach for men. So, this message is for the men who absolutely love their women. This message is for the men who are on the path to becoming the best versions of themselves for their spouse, for their kids, but most importantly, themselves. Now, if you're the type of man that isn't open-minded and you already know everything and you enjoy being a mediocre man, this message probably isn't going to resonate with you, and you should just turn this video off. Now, if you're like most men, there's probably been a time that you have lost your trust with your partner, right? That you have broken their trust. Now, I truthfully hope that this message finds you at the perfect time and that it's helpful for whatever stage you are currently going through right now. Now, when you find yourself in this situation, for me, for a lot of the men that I talk with, it feels like there's no coming back from it, right? I felt like and I feel like the biggest piece of shit for letting her down. And if you're truthfully in love, if you are with the woman of your dreams, that's how you should feel when you break their trust. You let your partner down, your lover, your best friend, you let them down, and it's not a good feeling at all. You didn't keep your word. You made a commitment to do life with this person, right? Whether it was spoken or not, whether you're married or just dating, you made a commitment to always protect her. She gave you her heart. So it is your job to protect her in her most vulnerable state. Now, when you guys decided to do life together and she said yes, that commitment is something that you need to take seriously. But now you find yourself here. You lost her trust. It built up. But guess what? It's not the end of the world, right? You are human. You make mistakes. You fail. But it's how you react next. It's what you do next that's either going to make you successful in your relationship or it's either going to crumble, right? So the devastating truth, there's actually two, but one of them is that you have low emotional intelligence, right? You're quick to get angry. You get frustrated. You live in resentment, right? And you need to do things to handle your own shit, to handle your own emotions, so you can be there for your partner, for your spouse, right? And number two is you're fearful. You're afraid of change. You're not open-minded or willing to learn something new. You think you know everything and that there's no need to change. That's the truth. Now, increasing your emotional intelligence is going to be a huge game changer. And if you're the type of person who snaps or who is quick to anger, if you're often frustrated and take things personally, that's a huge sign of low emotional intelligence. Figure out how to handle your own shit so you could be that rock for your spouse. And the second thing that you need to understand and truly realize is that the only thing that you have control over is yourself. You cannot control your spouse. You cannot control their feelings, their actions, their reactions. You can only control yourself. Stop personalizing everything. Stop making everything about you, because it's not. And you may not even realize it, but when you make everything about you, 9 out of 10 times when you're in a fight or when you're in an argument, it really has nothing to do with you. So figure out your own shit so you can help your partner navigate hers. And so you can create that safe space for her to be open, to fully open up to you. Now, the path to regaining trust with your spouse could potentially be a long road, depending on the situation. But here are the things that need to happen right now within yourself in order to come back from that, in order to be that rock for your family. The most important thing is you need to become self-aware. You need to realize your faults. And you need to figure out how you can change them and become better. Take ownership of your life. And if you are in a victim mentality, it needs to end right away. It's not attractive to anybody, and it's childish. You need to see and understand where you went wrong and how you could do things differently next time. And you need to start creating integrity with yourself and with everybody else. Do what you say you're going to do, and do it without any expectations. Be a stand-up guy and just have respect. Treat people how you want to be treated. That is one of the biggest truths. But be consistent as well. When you're doing the things to become better, when you're doing the work, when things start to become better, that doesn't mean stop, because that's when you start reverting back to where you started. Keep at it. Stay consistent. Now, you can only lose trust with your partner so many times before something extreme happens. That's the truth. And for a lot of the men that I work with, a lot of the men that I talk to, one of their biggest regrets is not starting this work earlier, because the extreme for them is they did lose their families. They did lose their spouse. Be open-minded, be coachable, be willing to change before something extreme does happen. Don't be like 40 or 50% of the married couples and end in divorce, right? Don't lose your family. And if you are at that point, how can you do things differently for next time? Be different from everybody else. You have a choice, and it's up to you to save your life. Thank you guys for watching. If you hopped on, have a good day.